mountains and 8 seas make one world. 1,000 worlds make one chiliocosm. One chiliocosm to the power of 3, and there's nothing I can't cut.
Boruto versus Kawaki has been a weird dynamic they have been pushing in the story since the introduction, or should I say, because I've been doing a whole lot of hating on Kawaki, since the goated introduction of the character Kawaki. Mind y'all, I may be biased or I may have my opinions, but I still present things how they are. Since the goated, possibly one of the best introductions in the entire Naruto franchise of this guy Kawaki, the whole dynamic of Boruto versus Kawaki has been real interesting. Dare I say it's been more authentic than Naruto versus Sasuke. Now, just to brush over the basic parallels, because you can't talk Boruto in regards to Naruto without paralleling the two stories. Naruto and Sasuke fought in a matter of, concluding, like, you know what I'm saying, the straight up, mind you, I didn't read the manga content, but I watched all of the canon episodes. Throughout the entirety of the show, you know, they had the skerfuffles that they had since they first met each other in terms of dialogues, obviously outward and loudly animosity towards each other. But aside from that, they had the hospital fight on the rooftop. They had the end of part 1 fight. Then they had the waterfall fight in Shippuden. Well, actually, let's backtrack. Even though it wasn't technically a 1v1, they had the confrontation with Sasuke when he introduced the Chidori Scream. I'll give it to them. That's 3. Then they had the waterfall fight when Sasuke tried to off Sakura, you know what I'm saying? And then they had the last fight where we see Naruto, possibly the best fight out of all 5 fights. And we get an understanding. At that point in time in the story, it was good. It worked, and it was very fulfilling because we always wanted to see Naruto and Sasuke on panel together. Now, it was something like a double-edged sword. The reason why it worked because, A, like I said, we always wanted to see it, but B, we barely got to see them together, right? And this whole entire bond that supposedly Naruto was willing to go to the ends of the earth for came about because they went on 2 missions together, and one of them, like, Sasuke saved his life in terms of like Zabuza. After that, it was Chunin the Zams, then bye-bye Sasuke, right? So this authenticity and, you know, the genuineness in terms of the relationship with Boruto and Kawaki is much more present in our faces compared to Naruto and Sasuke. I can't believe I'm saying that, but the truth of the matter is that's a fact. And just when you look at everything that's laid out for us, not just on a deeper level, but on a surface level as well, it's easy to say that, right? Because they give us more interaction with Boruto and Kawaki. And not only that, I said all of that just to say this, they flooded us with so many Boruto versus Kawaki, like, confrontations that it's just mind-boggling, right? But we have to look at the technicalities, right? All of the instances where, okay, we understand the whole situation with the karma seal between the 2 brothers, you know, the threat of being taken over by an alien parasite between the 2 brothers. How many times have we actually seen Boruto and Kawaki fight? Now, in comparison to Naruto and Sasuke, in terms of arguing and outwardly and loudly animosity towards each other, I say they probably neck and neck. Maybe even Naruto and Sasuke got it in the bag because them niggas did not like each other. With Boruto and Kawaki, they couldn't stand each other for obvious reasons. Boruto was like, I don't even know you, but you talking all that big, right? Kawaki is like, I don't know, y'all acting all weird. Y'all talking about something, y'all want to help me, but like, y'all not answering my questions. And at the end of the day, I can't trust y'all. Trust issues. It was genuine. They had a foundation set, and it was real sibling bonding, right? So we go from the first confrontation with Boruto and Kawaki. They're peeing, then they start to fight. Boom. And then we move much later down the line. If we're sticking just to manga content, they finally fight in the training arc where they have, right before Delta shows up, they fight, right? One time. MomoShiki pops up, and then even further down the line, Sarada's trying to get the whole gang on, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got to work on our meditation, we got to work on all of this. Kawaki's like, bump that, you know what I'm saying? Now we talking about this whole Sarada and Kawaki dynamic. I already mentioned that in my previous video, but Kawaki like, you know what, we finna box. They out here trying to box. You know what, Boruto's like, call it a quit. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna call a spade a spade. You could beat me, we gonna do it your way. You can't, obviously you can't, you know what I'm saying? We finna like let it rock how Sarada wants it to rock. So that was their second fight. And then moving even further down the line, further down the line, the end of Naruto Next Generations, Kawaki done off Hinata and off Naruto supposedly to everybody else, and he confronts Boruto on his way home, and we finally see, I would say in my stance, probably the most prolonged fight between both Boruto and Kawaki, where Kawaki confronts Boruto. Boruto asks him about his parents. They don't have any more words for each other, and they finally agree on that, which kind of like shows a little nod to how they first started to fight. When they first started to fight in the backyard, one of the things that they agreed on is that they can't agree on anything. And the last fight we see them have is that one of the things they agree on is that they can't agree on anything, right? So Boruto and Kawaki go at it, and then the infamous, even though I'm still finding it hard to believe, Boruto put out a giant Rasengan on his own. The panel was a little bit weird, but I can't wait for that part to get animated, because I wouldn't mind if it was a giant Rasengan, and Boruto did say he knew how to control MomoShiki's powers much better. All of that to say, they only had 3 solid battles, and they've been flooding us with so much Boruto versus Kawaki content. 3 solid battles. Now, y'all probably think, well, what about Boruto versus... Hey, I'm not talking about MomoShiki. If we want to talk about MomoShiki versus Kawaki, we got a plethora of options to choose. From the time when MomoShiki took Sasuke's eye, Kawaki set himself on fire. From the time when they was in the middle of the village, MomoShiki helped Kawaki escape. From the time where everybody is probably thinking about, is he really not from the... Man, you already know from the talking my boy MomoShiki and Kawaki's out here boxing it out, a battle of the horns. That's what I call that battle, the battle of the horns, you feel me? Right before Boruto's untimely / timely death, because, you know, they both playing for it, but Naruto wasn't expecting that shit. But all of those confrontations do not count in terms of Boruto versus Kawaki. But on the surface level, we've seen these 2 figures, these 2 bodies, right? In terms of MomoShiki, yes, he fights differently using Boruto's body, but still some of the similar mannerisms, some of the similar moves. Even if we just say, okay, it's MomoShiki that's fighting Kawaki instead of Boruto, we still had so much in story just in part 1 of these 2 being on the same panel together, these 2 having the same confrontation, and these 2 inevitably ending up boxing together, that we can't have this long anticipated from episode 1 and chapter 1 Boruto versus Kawaki anytime soon. We cannot have it. Now, chapter 1 of Two Blue Vortex gave us a real loop. Gave us a scoop the dupe. It had us thinking it was going to be a 3-way battle, and I like what they did there, because now it's showing us, all right, everything has been set in motion. Now all of the pieces are about to go out onto their own playing fields of the boards, so that everything could eventually circle back together. And I talked about previously with Sarada and Kawaki how we're going to have Kawaki's story, we're going to have Boruto's story. At one point in the story, we're going to have both of their stories intermingle, and then another point in the story, we're going to have them again separate. Right now, we're at the first separation for Two Blue Vortex in terms of Boruto and Kawaki's story. Now with Boruto, his focus is Code, Ten Tails, and now these Shinju enemies that are popping up. Overarching goal, save this nigga Sasuke. Kawaki, his story is now Hiddenly Village Shikamaru. Sarada is not letting up on Boruto is innocent. And his overarching goal, make sure no one finds out about Naruto and Hinata where they're at. Now, we obviously understand that these things are going to intertwine and intermingle and become to one big grandiose story for the franchise. But at the time being, these are how these 2 are going to be playing out. So now Kawaki's dealing with Sarada. He's trying to deal with Shikamaru. He's dealing with Ada. And he's dealing with Damon. And now we have over here on Boruto, he's dealing with Kashikoji. He's dealing with Code. He's dealing with these 4 new Shinjus that just popped up out of nowhere. And he's dealing with the fact that he has to get this guy Sasuke out of this tree. Interesting things that are going on in these 2 characters' life before we even get to a point where we want to see Boruto versus Kawaki again. So Boruto versus Kawaki, highly anticipated. When will it happen? Hopefully until not further down the line of the story. And once it does happen, there's going to be so much more development in both characters that we're going to have an extremely well payoff. I've talked about a lot, and I'm going to bring up this next video about the changes that Kawaki has to go through for his character, because we've yet to see him in the position that we've seen him in chapter 1, and the position we've seen him in episode 1 of the anime and of the manga. We know this a completely different character design change, and for those who say they probably just simply changed Kawaki's outfit in terms of like he's just wearing this jacket now as opposed to the robe and the the rope that he has with the long bow staff, I beg to differ, because earlier this year we understand Ikimoto released a new drawing of both Boruto and Kawaki in the time skip, and Kawaki, we see he had that same outfit that he had on episode 1 and chapter 1 of the manga. And not just so many months later, Two Blue Vortex actually comes out and we see Kawaki in a different design. So that leads me to believe we're going to see this guy go under another character change, drastic change, in real world antics, in real world, parallels, to get a better understanding. When somebody goes through a midlife crisis, when somebody's going through something very life changing, they might make a drastic decision. I'm changing my entire style. I might just start wearing all black, or you know what? I'm gonna just cut all of my hair off and just rock it like that. Kawaki is gonna have to go through something like that where he's gonna realize, okay, this is how it is. Maybe he might get hit with an awakening like Sasuke got hit with. At the end of the day, you can't deny Sasuke's logic. If I stay in the hidden leaf, I'm not going to get the power that I need to do the things that need to be done. So Kawaki's looking at it like, man, I've been in the hidden leaf 3 motherfucking years, bro. This guy Boruto's pulling up with the flying Rasen, pulling up with the Uzahiko according to this guy Damon, mind you, who stomped both of our faces and saying he can shake the planet's rotation. So like Kawaki's going to get hit with some like, yeah, bro, I'm out. This dude is out here training with Ghost and legendary Uchiha, and all I got is a Hokage who needs to remind everybody 5 minutes that he's a Hokage. You feel me? Like, Kawaki's gonna have to get with the real rude awakening, and I'm looking forward to it. So at the end of the day, taking everything I said into account, Boruto versus Kawaki is a fight I'm looking forward to. Let me know your thoughts on 2 Blue Vortex in the anticipation of both Boruto versus Kawaki. And do y'all think it will happen anytime soon within the series? I believe if you're going to actually allow me to get a proper guess, based off of the way the story is set up, I don't know how much things they're going to include or how much things they're going to hold off before introducing within the story. But by chapter 10, I should say, within 5 more chapters, 5 more months, we should have a solid answer if we're going to be getting Boruto versus Kawaki anytime soon, or they're definitely still building it up. But as of right now, I can say for a fact Boruto versus Kawaki should not happen at least until after chapter 10 at the very least. And even if it happens within that time frame or as soon as by chapter 10, it can't be the final fight that we anticipated for episode 1 and the manga chapter 1, which I most likely know will be the case, but might just be a little mini skerfuffle like the hospital battle with Naruto and Sasuke or the waterfall battle with Naruto and Sasuke. It's your boy Black Chat, 3 long face, skinny body. Holla at your boy. I'ma holla at y'all. Black Chat out. Yes, sir. Ski.
Hey, can we take a trip to the sky? Show them that our limit's too high.
Cocoa butter hips on the west side. She said